Firstly, thank you for
Hi, Shikha.
agreeing to do this call with us. So why don't you start by introducing yourself?
So thank you, Shikha, first of all, for having me here. I am Priyatosh Kumar. I am a marketeer by profession. Currently, I head the product marketing function for a specific line of business at Xerox India Limited. I have 19 years of working experience, four of which have been in the FMCG industries in sales function in Nestle India Limited. And the next 3 years I've spent in telecom, in working for organizations like Tata Teleservices Limited as well as Bharti Airtel. And for the last 12 years, I've been working with Xerox in various positions within sales and marketing. And currently, as I just mentioned, I'm the head for product marketing.
Okay. And if you can tell us something about the company, what does it do?
Okay, so most of the people are familiar with the name Xerox. It's a very synonymous brand that is largely associated with copying. In fact, it is used as a verb for photocopying. But the company does much more than just manufacturing copiers and printers. We are a technology services company that focuses on print and digital document products. The company, as most of the people know, has a legacy of path-breaking innovation and has some iconic brands in its
Okay.
repertoire, and the journey continues. It's one of the Fortune 500 companies as well.
Okay. That's great to know. So what does a product manager do in such a company?
So, product management encapsulates everything about a specific product, right from NPD, which is new product development, to managing the life cycle of that specific product. In India, we don't do new product development, but right from launching of the product to positioning to its pricing to what should be the communication around the product to what should be the promotions that should be that should accompany the product. Everything with respect to the life cycle, as I mentioned about the product, is part of the product management team.
Okay. And if I can ask, what is your typical day like? What's the typical day like for a product manager?
So, Shikha, all I can tell you is that no 2 days are similar. So that they are very different from one another. Of course, there could be repetitions over months, but typically it's very diverse. Each day is different. So one day could go in with the sales team in the field, trying to meet customers and understand them, and get a perspective as well as an insight. The other day could be spending time in multiple meetings with the management, with the corporation, with different stakeholders within the organization. And then a few other days could be gone in number crunching, in understanding the data that we have on hand, in trying to see what best solutions we can bring into the market, and a few days can also go in for some kind of administrative work. So it's a mix and match of many things that we do.
Okay. And from your experience, if you can tell us, what are those two or three key skills that are most important to succeed in this role?
So three or two or four, these things might sound cliched, but I can bucket them. I can separate them in two specific buckets. Uh, they are personal skill sets and professional skill sets. When it comes to professional skill sets, the priority or the most important requirement that I believe for this particular role is understanding of the industry as well as the marketplace, which comes from both experience as well as effort. The other is understanding of your customers. That's critically important because you have to envisage the trends, the changing consumer behavior, the changing expectations of the customers, and get that into perspective quickly so that you can action things faster. So these are as far as the professional skills are concerned. In fact, one more thing I would like to say as far as professional skill is that you have to be an expert at cross-functional management, because you don't largely work alone when you are working as a product manager or in the product management team. What you typically do is liaise with different departments of the organization, which could be the legal department, which could be the finance department, it could be a technical department, it could be the sales department. So you need to have that cross-functional ability to get the job done, to make things happen.
All right.
That's as far as the professional skills are concerned. When it comes to personal skills, now I might risk sounding cliched or hazard sounding like that, but there are three P's that I think is critically important as far as this role is concerned. And the first of them is And the three P's are passion, purpose, and plan. When I talk about passion, each product manager has to be extremely passionate about his products. And just like a parent is extremely passionate about raising his kid, a child may be good or bad, but they are really special for the parent. Similarly, a product is like a baby, and that should be really, and a product manager should hold that baby, hold that product really close to his heart. So that's one of the key ingredients required as far as a personal trait is concerned. When I talk about purpose, I'm largely talking about subjectivity by way of understanding how you are changing things when you are doing this role, having a larger perspective or a longer term view, and what is the purpose of this specific activity that you are doing. Once you have more clarity about that, I think it becomes easier for you to execute things better. And the third is about objectivity, which is the plan, and that plan encapsulates short-term objectives with respect to the goals, and there are various measures or gates that we have in trying to meet those goals. So once you have these three things cut out for you, it will be easy for you. I would want to also mention a fourth element, and that fourth element is the desire to learn, unlearn, and relearn, to learn newer things, to unlearn some things that are not relevant now and which could have been relevant a while back. And when I talk about relearning, it's about understanding some things that you would have forgotten by now. So it's important to do that, and you can get all of this from either art or books or cinema or your experience. So you have to keep your eyes and ears open. So that's about personal and professional trait.
Okay, that was quite insightful. Last question, Priyatosh. Do you see this role evolving in the future from how it is right now?
Absolutely. So we are not insulated from all the technological developments that are happening around all of us. And I believe AI and machine learning, all of this is coming into play. And because of that, there are a lot of roles that are going to get either evolved, or some of them probably could get extinct as well. As far as product marketing is concerned, I believe a lot of revamp is expected to happen here, because we largely work with insights, and insights can be got with a lot of data, and data is something which can be churned through sophisticated tools in a much better fashion going forward through AI tools, etc. And that what I feel will probably bring in a newer dimension to this particular function.
All right. Thank you once again, Priyatosh, for being with us. And I'm sure a lot of job aspirants wanting to know more about this role will be benefited from the insights that you've shared today. Thank you so much.
So thanks a lot, Shika, for having me, as I mentioned in the beginning as well. And if someone benefits, happy to see it that way. Thank you.
All right. All right. Bye.